for Dummies. We're at the Chamber, we've started to use Zoom quite a bit for various meetings that we've been having. It's a pretty good tool. We get a chance to take it out for a test run today for a bigger group. And you will be talking a little bit more about that today. So we've got some really good presentations today to talk about how to maximize working from home and getting a little bit more familiar with the technology that we have. It is a good group that we have. This is put together by our tech committee. This is replacing a new event that we were going to have this afternoon or this evening, the Tech Crawl, where we were going to be at the Annapolis Town Center and kind of stop at 3 different beverage locations and do a little networking and talk a little technology. But given what's happened, we've kind of put that on hold. We do want to return to that at some point once we understand the future operating restrictions, or hopefully non-restrictions, and everyone can be in a position that they feel safe to go out, and we can get back to what's going to be the new normal. So a couple things. We're going to have some information on the Chamber website. I'd encourage you to go and look at. We'll be recording this session, as we will future sessions. So if there's something that you hear or miss, you can certainly get that. We'll also be sending out the PowerPoint from each of the presenters to talk a little bit about that. On the website, we'll also have some information about some of the financial assistance programs that are available. They are pretty fluid and changing pretty quickly. The new one that's really out and starting to get some traction is this PPP, the Triple P, the Paycheck Protection Program. So there'll be a document on the website for that you can check out. Just real quick advice on that. At this point, the way the P3 program is working is you need to go to your bank first. They're just going to be going to their customers to make initial loans. The loans, quite a bit of it could be forgivable. It'll cover your employee costs, basically your payroll, your rent, and utilities. So about 75% of what you apply for can be put towards that. So that's a pretty significant opportunity, something to check out. So you can go to the website and get a couple documents to look at that and hopefully get a little bit more information. If you need more info or have some questions, feel free to email me. I've been trying to track that as best I can. Again, a pretty dynamic set of programs that are literally changing as we speak. So we're going to jump into some of our presentation, but before we do that, I'd like to introduce our membership coordinator, Amy Berry. So Amy, how are you? What's going on today?
Oh, just enjoying the stay-at-home order with my children, homeschooling and working.
Yeah, that started yesterday, right? The actual curriculum for homeschooling?
Yes, we did. It's practice week. So, yes.
So little did you know that you would have not only mom in your title, but teacher now.
Yes.
So you got a lot to juggle.
Yeah,
so,
it's going.
Yeah. So you can reach out to Amy or I for questions about things or Chamber or other resources. So what we're going to do is, before we jump into talking specifically about some of the technology and techniques that you can use for working at home, we're going to have our friends from BG&E talk about a very interesting and innovative program called Connected Annapolis. And it will focus on how to maximize the utilization of technology, particularly in regards to utility and energy and some other things in your business. And so I'm going to turn it over to Sam DuPont to kind of walk us through that. So Sam, you are on.
Hey, Mark, thanks so much. Yeah, thanks to you and to Amy and all the folks at the Chamber for working with us on this. And we're so glad to be here. I think everybody is adjusting, and we are too. And we're glad to be along with you on the ride here. So I'm just going to introduce myself quickly and give a very high-level overview, and then I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Meredith Selewski, who's on the phone, and she's going to walk through some of the particulars of the program. I'm the principal for strategic programs at Baltimore Gas and Electric, and that's in the strategy group. And what does that mean at a utility? Well, it really means that we're charged with looking around the corner and trying to figure out new and innovative ways to serve our communities and serve our customers. And we've been working with the city of Annapolis and a number of stakeholders there for approximately 18 months on some innovative and creative tools that we have put under our Connected Communities brand. And part of that is our Connected Annapolis Smart and Connected Home and Small Business demonstration. And that's what Meredith's going to talk to all of us about today. And so what we are doing is doing a demonstration project, and we are seeking participants for that, for people and businesses within the city of Annapolis. And essentially we're looking for ways to help our customers manage their energy. And so we are rolling out a smart home or smart small business kit that includes a number of technologies that allow sort of remote management and monitoring of things that affect your energy use at your business or your residence. So we're really excited to sort of be doing this kind of innovation. It's a very, very microscopic scale, with the goal of up to 200 participants across quite a few segments, including low income and seniors, small business and residential. So we're excited to be a part of it. To be a part of your efforts and to be doing things like this. So, and I can speak, I'm sitting up in Arnold right now in my basement. So I'm a resident of the county and am very, very fond of Annapolis and our home county here. So it hits close to home for me, particularly. So with that, I just want to turn it over to Meredith, and she's going to walk through some of the technology and answer any questions. So Meredith, over to you.
Sounds good. I'm going to share my screen, and can everyone see? Okay, perfect. So as Sam mentioned, we are rolling out the Connected Home and Small Business demonstration. We are targeting 50 small business owners and then 50 residential customers in the Annapolis area. Everyone will be receiving free smart home technology, as well as at a later date, professional installation and then technical and customer support. Due to everything going on, we are not allowed to have professional installers come out at this time, but everyone will be receiving a coupon for a free smart thermostat, and we will be able to send installers out once all of these restrictions are lifted. Customers will also be given the opportunity to save energy and money during this demonstration, which I know is very important at this time, and be able to control their technology at their business remotely, which will hopefully help for those businesses who do have to be open. As in exchange for all of this technology, we will ask participants how their experience is and analyze some of their data. And just a few fast facts. This is a technology trial. Again, as Sam mentioned, there's only 200 customers that we are targeting right now. It's 100% voluntary. The technology is free to keep. So after our demonstration is over, everyone can, continue to use it. We're really looking to understand the impact of smart and connected technology on bill reduction and how customers use this technology and what their preferences are. So that's our goal for all of this. And again, like I mentioned, prior to the shutdown, we were going to send professional installers out, but we're changing with the environment. So
Did Meredith freeze up?
Yep, I was just gonna say. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam,
Yes, she froze.
Okay.
I can pull up the slide. Oh, I think she just got out.
I'm sure she realized that.
Okay. And you
Yeah,
can't
as you
see.
all no, I can't, but I just have a couple of comments while she's getting back in. Yeah, as I'm sure you all know, the utility has had to re-gear a number of our processes. So as Meredith said, we were planning to have probably 75% of these kits be professionally installed and include a smart thermostat, but in line with a number of our other programs that involve in-home installations, we've suspended those at this time for obvious reasons.
So we'll see, get Meredith, see if she can get back in to kind of close out.
And I can, Mark, I can keep commenting on it if you'd like, just to move things along.
I can pull. Do you want me to show the slides? I can do that. I have it.
Yeah, go for it. Sure.
Okay. You just won't know. You just talk and I'll figure out which slide it is.
Yeah. I think we're all getting better at that, right? Yeah, so look at maybe 3, Amy.
Okay. Fast facts.
Sure. So Meredith went through most of this. Yeah, really the idea here is to is just to try this out, you know, and you know, we want to understand the impact on energy use, the impact on folks' bills, obviously, which is why we ask that anyone who participates have been in their current location for at least 2 years and plan to be in their current location for another year. You can go to the next one, Amy.
Okay.
Because we do need to establish a track record there about what your energy use has been, and then go ahead over the next 9 to 12 months and continue to monitor that and see what kind of impact we might see from utilizing some of these technologies that are on the screen right now. So just a quick review of what we're actually talking about here. So as Meredith said, the smart thermostat unfortunately is going to have to wait. Now that said, if anyone has one already, the vast likelihood is that you could integrate it with this platform. The hub that you see there is sort of the brain behind all this, and it talks to the app. There's a screenshot there. So this is all driven by a proprietary app that you can find either on the Google store or the Apple store. And these are some of the pieces of technology that we would send to you. And quite frankly, you know, part of this exercise too is to start to understand which technologies, not only which ones resonate with you, but also understand, you know, the installation process. So originally we had planned to have some of the participants install the technology on their own. Now, obviously, we've re-geared and we maybe have increased that a little bit and are asking more people to do it. But these are a few of the things: smart plugs, smart lighting, motion detectors, leak detectors, and window and door sensors. And you may, oh, Meredith, you're back.
She's back. Meredith?
Okay. Anyway, I'm just talking a little bit about technology, but I'm happy to hand it back off to you, Meredith, if you want.
I don't know if she's frozen again.
Okay. Well, if she starts talking, then we'll know she's here.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's a few of the technologies. Some of these will be familiar to you. A lot of these are commercially available. I think probably all of them are at this point. And so this is just a snapshot of what we're talking about. Amy, you can go ahead.
Okay. This is showing what the app looks like.
Yep. This is just a quick shot of what we're talking about in terms of what would show up on your smart device that you could control these devices from. So it's all designed to be remotely accessible and seamless in that way. You can go ahead, Amy. This is just a rendering, an example to get folks' imaginations going a little bit. And obviously, every facility is different. Every home is a little bit different. But this is the gist of what we're talking about. And you can start to sort of see all of these pieces put together, all on one platform, all on one app. Some of them are just data in terms of giving you information, and some are, you can control. So the smart plug and the light bulb and so on are ways that you can actively manage your energy. And then the other items are designed to give you information about your facility. So if your door is open, for example, it will tell you that. You can set alerts to tell you various things, various times a day, all sorts of automation involved and things like that. So next slide, Amy. As you can tell, I'm going quickly because of limited time, but if you are interested in any of this, which we hope you are, there's information in this deck about how to get more information. So here's some of the qualifications for participation in this. So small business owner in Annapolis, obviously that's a key to all of this. We are hyper targeting this, and I know that there are folks on the call from all over the county, and we do welcome your interest. We are trying to keep the participants either within or very close to the city of Annapolis at this time, but we would appreciate if you are interested and you're not in the Annapolis vicinity. We'd love to know about your interest anyway. At least 3 years in the same location, responsible for your own bill and managing your own energy, and you must be individually metered because that allows us to understand any changes in your energy use. Must have internet access and a smart device, and must plan on being in the same spot for the next 12 months or so. Next slide, please. So here is a snapshot of our website that we put together for this program, and it has all kinds of information. There will be numerous videos on here to tell you about the technology, how to set up the technology, all that sort of thing, and a dedicated phone line for customer service, technical advice, and all of that. So next slide, please. And thanks again to Amy and Mark. We're looking at new ways, to support this demonstration and to support the small business community. And these are some of the ideas that we have to help get this demonstration off the ground. So, the irony is, of course, that this demonstration was actually planned to be sort of a unique thing from a utility perspective. We were planning a very, very high touch, in-person training, professional installation. Pretty much if you could do it in person and it could be highly involved and interactive, it was going to be. And so that's a strange irony of the timing of this, because now we are totally flipped on our head in terms of that. So a lot of that type of thing we're bringing to the virtual environment with the following things that you see here. So with tools like Zoom and Skype and all the rest, we plan to do some additional webinars, plan to do more videos than we were doing before, and other ways that we can support participants. So that pretty much gets us to the end. And I know that was I was talking very quickly, given the time sensitivity, but we would welcome your interest. Really in any way, shape, or form. This is the email that you can use to reach out to us about this project. We're really excited about it. It's the only place in our entire territory that we're doing anything like this. Frankly, from what I've heard, there's not much of this kind of thinking going on in the industry at all. So we're really, really happy to bring this to Annapolis and to Anne Arundel County, and just thank Mark and Amy for letting us talk about it today.
Great, thank you, Sam. We had a question from Melissa. Does the technology integrate with Alexa?
Yes. Short answer.
All right, well,
it does.
That's good.
So that hub that you saw on the tech page. Oh, Meredith, you back? I see you again. Hey.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we got you. So it does integrate with Alexa. And that hub that you saw on the technology page that you can look at again in the deck is really designed to be as flexible as possible. So it contains a capability to do Wi-Fi, Z-Wave, Zigbee, all these different communications protocols that can integrate with a wide variety of sensors. So happy to talk to you more about that on the technical side, but short answer is yes on Alexa.
Okay. Well, that's great. It sounds like a great opportunity. And I know you said it's in and around Annapolis. So we had a couple people who might have an interest that aren't in the municipal boundaries, but might be close. So maybe if those folks want to touch base with Sam or Meredith to find out if you're in the right geography, that would be super.
Yep, we really appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out to BG&A. They've agreed to be our sponsor for the Moving Forward virtual series. So we're excited about that. So we're able to keep this going and keep everybody kind of connected here and doing a deeper dive on some different topics. So so let's kind of keep the ball rolling here and get into the how do we work from home? How do you maximize? What tools do we have? So I'm going to ask Melissa Mack from IBC to kind of go on to our next topic and take us away, Melissa. How do you work from home? How does it work?
Well, thanks, Mark. Can you guys hear me? Yes? Okay, great. So a little bit about IBC. We're a small technology firm. We do software consulting on databases, mostly for nonprofit organizations, membership-based organizations, foundations, and unions. So we implement websites and e-commerce and business intelligence and things like that. And we've been doing that for over 20 years now. And for the first 18 years in business, we actually had, a brick and mortar office. And, we went virtual a couple years ago. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But we've been listening to some really cool stuff from BG&E and stuff. And I wanted to take a minute and ask you guys to put in the chat window a little poll answer about before this pandemic. Did you work from home 100% of the time? Probably very few of you on this call did, or you may not be on this call. Or maybe you worked from home partially with 1 or 2 days a week at home. And or maybe you just 100% worked outside in an office environment or at client site. So if you just take a minute, wanted to see if we could poll the audience here and see how things were going there. All right, I can't see the chat. Amy, can you see some of the answers? Anything?
Yep, they're
So
coming
most of them,
in.
number twos, I would assume. Many of them.
Yeah, mostly number twos, some number threes.
All right. Well, so unlike you guys, let me tell you our story. We're more like work from home 90% of the time. And also our hearts go out to you because when we decided to go virtual, Jody Sawyer's on the call. She's my business partner and co-founder of IBC. We planned it for 6 months and that didn't even seem like enough time. It was a true office move for us. And everybody on this call are most likely having to do it in an emergency situation and not being prepared and, have maybe 2 days to 5 business days to get yourself at home and get situated and work there. And so, we were so grateful we undertook that project 2 years ago when this hit because our entire team was already there and we really haven't missed a beat with our work environment, with our 40-hour work week. We're able to still provide our services to our clients. However, we quickly realized our clients may not be able to receive our services because they weren't working or they weren't prepared. So we had the time to think about where does the mail go? We got a Regis office space, which also covered our phone system. Who's going to answer the phones? How do we get to our 15 staff? Client calls. Where does our servers go? We have servers in our office. How do we access them if they're not in our office, if we're not hardwired into a network? What equipment does everybody need at home? Do they just pick up their laptops and move them all home when we move virtual? Or are they connecting to some, cloud-based system? What do they need? Do they need, computers, keyboards, mouses? Do they need printers? Do they need earbuds or headphones and things like that? So we had the luxury of the time, also webcams, right? Webcams are important. I heard from one of my neighbors just about a week ago, you can't get a webcam. They were out of stock, but maybe that's changed now. So that kind of thing. And then what do we do with their furniture? For us, it was a full office move. We had to get rid of the furniture too. And then the big question, right? If you're a manager on this call or a business owner and you've got people that you've allowed to work from home through this, if you didn't actually have to close your doors, how do you know they're working, right? How do you make them, how do you keep them accountable? So, you know, and then how do we stay in touch with our clients and our team and things like that? So it was a true office move for us with planned expenses, and you guys are all having to do this in an emergency. So, you know, our heart really does go out to you in this, because it was a lot of work for us to do over 6 months. So I just wanted to share some of the tools we found, and some of these you can get started on like instantly. You just go sign up for a subscription and you can start using them today, you know. So Basecamp was a big deal. We were actually using Basecamp before we went virtual, and it's a good collaboration tool, a good project management tool. I actually used it personally too to plan things like my poor sister's birthday party that had to get canceled and things like that. So Basecamp is great. It just brings very clear communication. Everybody can share the information in one place, easy to get to, easy to use, barely any training needed. They've got videos and you can kind of just hit the ground running. Of course, like today, like the chamber's using, you know, the GoToMeeting, the Zooms, the GoToWebinars, all of that stuff was very important. We settled on GoToMeeting and we use GoToWebinar as well. But we are looking at Zoom, and there's going to be more information from Alpha in a bit on information about the remote meeting technology that we're using today, and options, and sort of some pros and cons and cost effectiveness of them. Remote access, so that's, you know, our file servers, our applications we use for our daily business. How are we going to get to it? So we did move our network out to a hosted location, and we do use things like VPN, which is a secure network connection to connect to our files. We also use a remote desktop connection to a server that has the actual software application on it. We use Office 365 in the cloud. You know, I think though, for people who still have their PCs and their computers in their office, you know, you need a way to connect, and another good way for people with their applications already loaded on their desktop might be a Go to My PC or a Log Me In. You kind of just directly connect to your machine as if you were sitting there. So all kinds of options. And again, Dave and Logan from Alpha Engineering, they'll be coming up next, and they'll talk to you about security on those connections and things like that. You know, so that one question, if you're a manager on this call or you're a small business owner and your people are at home and you're like, how do I know they're working, right? How do I keep them accountable? For us, we are a time-based, you know, consulting firm, much like a lawyer or a CPA, and our team has to account for every 15 minutes of their time. So for us, it was easy. We know whether, you know, we can read their time entries, but for you, it might not be. So, you know, do you have a customer database? Can you record activities and calls and use that CRM and quantify that? You know, and then just, you know, daily meetings and making sure everybody's got their to-do lists and checkups and stuff. It's actually more important now to communicate more than less than, you know, more than ever. And then of course, we settled on Regis. We looked at a WeWork, but Regis had more offices. That gave us a mailing address, that gave us a voice over IP phone system. And Tim Carey's going to be coming up from Chesapeake Telephone Systems and talking to you guys about phone systems that allow you to basically get phone calls, you know, anywhere in the world, kind of thing. So we had time to plan that stuff. And right now you might be looking for a possible solution, especially if this gets extended. And I would definitely, you know, take a look at some of these and the options that Alpha and CTS will be talking about as well. None of these software packages are, we don't resell or implement any of them. We just have been using them. So it's been a great experience for us. But the coolest tool that I wanted to tell you guys about, which we found, is called Sococo, S-O-C-O-C-O. So when we went virtual, and actually about a month before we went virtual, because I think they had a month free trial, we wanted to try it out and see if our staff would use it, because it was just a small amount per user per month. But this is our office. This is our virtual office. So every morning when our staff comes in, they log into this application, this website, and their little smiley faces pop up on the screen in their office. You can see there's a Melissa's office in here. And what you'll see is people can knock on the door, and you hear a little knock, and you have your headset in, your earbuds, or the sound coming out of your computer. You can do share screens. You can chat with each other. You can say get them and pull them into your office. you can close your door so nobody can pop in. We actually had to learn some virtual office etiquette. Like if you were in the real world, would you just pop into somebody's office or might you knock on the door? Because I know I did this once or twice to Jody. You pop in the office and start talking and this isn't their primary screen. Then you hear a voice in your head say, hey, it's like scares the bejesus out of you sitting in your office home alone. So we had to like knock and then also check to see if people are meeting with each other. So when you came into somebody's office, you can see I'm at the bottom there. I was meeting with my consultant, David. And when we're talking, you can see him blinking white. So you know people are working, and there must have been some kind of just subconscious aspect to this that we all didn't feel alone working from home. We could see our team in their offices. We could see people collaborating and meeting. And it's been wonderful. We do use it in conjunction with Zoom and stuff because it has some limitations to minutes on screen share and video. But beyond that, it's just been lovely. We can even invite guests in to wear a little white and blue guest badge. So, you know, there's a guest in my office if you ever see a little white and blue guest badge on the bottom of the smiley face. So this has been an amazing tool. And Sococo.com, if you wanted to look into it, it's just really kept our team feeling like they're together. So as I said, you know, we recognized that our clients and other people that we know, our friends, our family members, they're going through this now for the first time in an emergency situation, this working from home. And some of our clients started asking our staff, you know, any tips and tricks, you know, how are you guys doing this? And so we kind of created a blog. There's a little link there. I'm not going to read them all to you, but you know, one of the big differences, even now for our staff as well, an adjustment is, you know, now we're not just working from home in an organized space that we organize, but now we're sharing our space with family and kids. And like Amy said, or Mark said that Amy's like, you know, also working from home, but also now a home teacher. You know, that juggling is huge, and it's hard to balance, and it's hard to help younger kids especially understand that, you know, mommy's at work. And, you know, how do you balance your day and how do you organize your day and getting on a real schedule so that you can kind of help everybody with everything. And I think what's more important than anything today is that as humans, we are just, you know, flexible and understanding of everyone's situation because, you know, we're all trying to be professional and do work, but also our pets and our you know, significant others and our children are all around us, you know, which they also need attention as well. So, so there's some really good tips on this blog. I'll let you guys take a look at them. Some of them really are things about, you know, getting a schedule, trying to keep a daily routine, take care of the kids first, get them set up, things like that. So I definitely would recommend you take a look at that. If you're struggling, it just is nice to read and know that you're not the only one in this alone. And so I wanted to stop for a quick minute and ask for one more poll. So do you have children at home while you're trying to work? So yeah, they're home and I'm trying to work, or they're home and I'm trying to work and I'm required to homeschool them. That's new, as Amy said last week for her. You know, no, but, you know, does my significant other count? Because sometimes they weren't in the house and now they are. And no, I don't know anybody that actually has peace and quiet and can just concentrate on work and washing their hands. But I can't see the chat, Amy. So
apparently Dave Carter has peace and quiet. He's the only one.
He's number. He can wash his hands off.
Other than that, lots of threes.
Lots of threes. Okay. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Well, the threes might find out they would just want to work from home after all of this is done anyway. You know, so we'll probably see some shifting there. I did get this really great article I wanted to share as well. And I shared the link so when the PDF goes out, but again, it's like, what about kids? So those people that do have kids, I thought these were amazing tips about how to help manage a work day and the kids and things like that. I got an email just yesterday, Monday, from my sophomore in high school son's teacher saying, they hadn't heard from him on his Algebra 2 stuff, and he hadn't turned in any of his assignments. So I asked him, and he was like, oh, I forgot, I'm going to go do that now. And I responded back to the teacher, thank you for letting me know. I will ground him immediately. So she didn't really appreciate the humor, but I thought it was funny. So anyway, just one last thing before I turn it over to Alpha, and that is keep your daily routine if you can. If you're missing it, you know, some people, they decompress those 10 minutes on their commute, right? So if you decompress on your commute going to and from work, then go find some place to try to keep your daily routine. And I thought this is pretty funny, and keeping your sense of humor, I think, during this very difficult time is also very important. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dave. I do have a contact information slide, which will come out in the handouts that Amy sends as well. So thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, do I take questions now before we turn it over to Dave?
Yeah, well, if anyone has some questions for Melissa, that was great to hear from someone who's been living it and doing it for a while. And I think I know that guy. I've seen him on the Metro. So it's good to see he's working productively from home.
Definitely. Okay.
No questions have come through. Not yet.
All right, no problem. I'm sure they'll have them for Dave and Tim when they get into the technical details of some of those tools. So thanks.
All right, great.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Dave Carter from Alpha Engineering IT Services, and Logan Clark here will be joining with me to chime in as we go along this. As far as my answer, yes, I have peace and quiet for the most part, but there is the occasional trash trucks and the gardeners and different people still out and about doing stuff. So that's something you have to pay attention to. And another thing, like you were saying on your last slide, being in your work uniform or dressed, whatever, when you're on these kind of meetings, as you can see in the background, my logo, that's a great tool that you're able to do within different things where you can, you know, make it a little more professional. But today we're going to be talking about working remotely and some of the things on the technical side, being that we are a managed service provider. We provide outsourced IT services to small and medium-sized businesses. And some of the things that our clients are going through, and hopefully some of this will be helpful. We are going to go through certain things. As we know out in the world with softwares, things like that, there is all kinds of stuff out there. What we've tried to do is kind of pick best of breed / most popular, easy to use, those type of things, because we could be here for hours talking about everything. And again, we're not experts on everything, but the one thing to keep in mind is if you do have an IT person or a managed service or need one, those are the people that can help you find all this stuff. And that's what we're doing for our clients right now is trying to help them figure out how to work from home. All right, Logan, you can go to the next slide.
It will work. Hold on. Hey, Dave.
And this is part of the issue with some of this, you know, right now we're having overload compared to like Melissa and Jody have done where they planned it. This is what they're going to do. Right now you're getting hit with bandwidth issues and all different kinds of stuff with the internet's going down. I know in Annapolis, Comcast Xfinity went down yesterday. There's all kinds of things that we're dealing with that we wouldn't normally if you were going to be working from home, but this is where we are. How to get connected. So what we're going to talk about right now, a couple things about this with the VPN, which is a virtual private network. So basically you can look at this as this is a pipeline from where you are that is secure directly to your network, your server, your files, all the things that you have locked down. Good things and bad things about this. It's great, it's secure, it's very reliable. One of the issues that we have with it is that you have to have a network. And if you're a small business and you don't have that, you can't use this system. But we will talk about other things later in our presentation that will help you for those that don't have stuff like that. It has software that is enabled, but this is something you would have if you had your server and your IT people would put this together for you. Very secure. Hackers can't get into this. This is, like I said, a direct connection. While it allows you to access the network, but it does not allow you to access your desktop. So there's the remote desktop side of this as well, as we call it, RDP. And there's a couple different forms of this. And this is where you log in and you look at, it looks and feels exactly like your screen at work. It has your files, it has your desktop, it has all your saved things that you do on a daily basis. There is a go-to PC, which is very similar. In the difference in those two is one is you're directly, again, logging into your network, and your IT staff has created a screen for you, whereas log me into my PC is directly going to your PC, which means it has to be on at all times. If it goes down in the office, you can't work with log me into my PC. Great products, work very well, very user-friendly. One of the cons of our remote desktop is that it's not as secure as a VPN. It is susceptible to hackers and people being able to get to that information. So it's better for organizations that are not utilizing data that they're worried about, which most of us are, but just to let you know, that's the biggest difference between the VPN and the remote when it comes to security. One of the cons of a virtual private network requires a very strong and very stable connection. So as we've seen already on this, not to throw you under the bus, Meredith, but internet connections are what they are, and we can freeze, we can do different things. So on a remote desktop, you would have probably already been dropped and would have had to log back in and do the whole thing. Whereas on a VPN, if you have that strong, stable connection, it will keep you in. But if you don't, it's very hard to use a VPN. VPNs allow you to encrypt your internet traffic. That's the big thing. So go on to the next. So beyond the connection itself to your network, what is the things that we need on a daily basis? There are multiple hosted solutions out there. There's video conferencing and there's file sharing. And we'll get into kind of each one of these. Now, a lot of people think, oh, they're all the same thing. Zoom does what Office 365 does. Gmail does what Office 365 does. GoToMeeting, file sharing, Dropbox, Box. They are not the same things. They are all different types of tools doing different types of things, but are there to help you. So we're going to get into the hosted solutions. So you have Office 365 and you have the Gmail suites. Both great products. They have your hosted email. You can access them from anywhere. You have an internet connection anywhere in the world. They are a pay per user per month, and it has scalability. The nice thing about them is that let me step back for a second and say, a lot of this of what you're looking at, what you need to focus on first is, how does your business run? How do your employees work? Because you're very different than even your biggest competitor that could be right next door to you doing the same thing, but you work differently. So when you're looking at these things, you really got to look at, the ins and outs of your office. And I know that's really hard right now, but even in going back and trying to make it better, you can start to do this. So like Office 365, you can do anything from the lowest pricing range, which is basically just an email, all the way up to full collaboration and file sharing and all the different things that go along with this, all the way up to enterprise. And so your prices will range depending on those packages. But within a lot of those packages, you can have, okay, these users need to have full access, do everything that we need, so that we're going to pay the higher price than them. But it does not mean you have to do it for all your employees. If you have someone that really just needs email, you can get just that for them and only pay that per month per user. They have the differences, and they have OneDrive or Google Drive. Both great products. They're a file storage. They are file sharing. Again, access from anywhere in the internet. And the storage sizes range depending, again, on your package. And then Teams and Hangouts. So we're using Zoom right now. That is not what Teams and Hangouts do. They're very different. This is an office collaboration software. You can do direct messaging to employees and coworkers. You can do calls and videos and conferences with your coworkers. There's a lot of collaborating and sharing and editing in real time. Like Logan and I, when putting this together, she would send it to me. I was able to edit. I could send it back. We could work on it together at the same time. That's a great thing within these. But when you're talking about video conferencing and calls and things like that, it is limited to the people within your organization, within your licensing. I cannot do Teams with any of you unless you are part of our team. So that is one of, some of the things that but the good thing is you can connect to these other softwares that we're going to be looking at. Next screen. So those are the similarities, and here's some of the differences. So Microsoft is Microsoft, and a lot of us use Microsoft Office, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, those type of things. But if you're utilizing Google, they have their own version of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and they're similar, but they are different in a lot of ways. So you have to look at how important is it, depending on which applications you want to use. If Word is very important to you, theirs is a bit more extensive than the Google's version. They're give and take on both. So make sure you're looking at those, but those are a big difference in what applications you're utilizing and in the pricing. So Google price ranges anywhere from $6 per user per month to $25 per user per month. Microsoft ranges from $5 to $15. And they do go all the way up to the Essentials package, which is more of an enterprise type of system for the bigger companies like that. Because for a small company doing $57 per user per month, that gets very pricey very quick. And most of that you won't utilize. Again, if we look at the Microsoft package where it says $5 to $15, that the $5 is basically you can give an employee an email and that's all they get. And then the different packages go up and as you go, so you can manipulate that as you go. So again, look at what your employees need. If you have a receptionist up front and all she ever needs is email, great, then that's all she gets. But you got a heavy power user, they can get the full thing and anywhere in between.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's get into video conferencing. So we said earlier that you can't do Zoom video conferences and things like that in Teams and in Hangouts like that. But these are the things that a lot of them connect. Now, 365 in Teams connects to any one of these, and it's and so you would have to go out and get this yourselves. But you have Zoom, GoToMeeting, and WebEx. Those are your big three right now. There are other ones, but these are the main ones that, especially right now, are most user-friendly and most powerful. So with what's going on in the world today, the ones we recommend the most. All platforms have a lot of similarities and features. It's really, you got to find out what works best for you. They all have video conferencing, they all have webinars, they all have team collaboration, and they all have chat. The webinars, just so you know, most of that is not included with the Zoom, even if you pay for Zoom versus the free version. That is a separate entity of itself. And same with GoToMeetings, they have a GoToWebinar, same thing, you pay extra for that. So, be aware of that. So, pros and cons. Zoom, completely very competitively priced, paid for just the plans themselves. They range from $14.99 to $19.99, and they can be interchangeable. Their free version is very generous, some limitations to it, but overall very good, especially one-on-one. You can use that for, hours at a time. It will not cut you off. But if you have a group of more than 2 people, what you need to know on the free version at 40 minutes, it will cut you off completely. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't say, hey, in 5 minutes, your time is up. It says, boom, it just clicks you off. I learned this personally. So it's but very, very easy to use, very strong, very stable. Most of the issues they have right now are on your end, not on their end. And to be honest, they've had some issues, obviously, with hackers, things like that. We've all heard about this. They have already jumped on that a while back here in the last week. So a lot of that has already been addressed, and a lot of it is being addressed as we go along. They were not as well prepared for what's happening now and the amount of people that are utilizing it. So most softwares, if you know them, they start here and then they just grow out from that as they learn what works, what doesn't work, things like that. They're on a crash course themselves trying to figure out everything. So, but as far as right now, a lot of the insecurity that they had is much more secure now. The plan is very flexible, but there's a catch that we've found in all this too, is that while their packages are great, they have tons and tons and tons of add-ons. And as you're going through, you're like, oh, we could use that. That would be great for these guys. This would be great. Your price range can go very, very quickly from $14.99 or $19.99 all the way up to, $300 a month before you even know it. So be careful of what you're choosing to utilize. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and you're working with your IT staff or your IT company to make sure that, do we really need this? Is this something important, or do we not need it? And we don't need to spend the money on it, because running out willy-nilly and throwing it out there, you're going to run your bill up really quick. GoToMeeting, free 14-day trial. They do not have a free version as of now, but here's another thing. Some of this has changed. This slide itself has changed in the last 2 days because these companies are catching on. Like, we've got to do what other companies are doing because of what's happening. But right now they have a 14-day trial, good pricing, $14 to $19. Plus they have add-ons the same. You can use a custom URL to access conference, which is a fantastic item. But again, like go to my PC, go to my meeting, it really needs a super stable internet connection. Meetings in this literally will drop if the host especially does not have a stable internet connection. It will drop and you'll be out in the middle of a meeting. Now, another thing about GoToMeeting, and not to bash on it, but the reality of it is the quality of your equipment. Especially right now, we're all jumping on home. Here's the laptop. Oh, I have a laptop at home. I have things like that. Older equipment does not work well with GoToMeeting. It's made and set up for newer equipment, and that's just, a lot of softwares are that way. So if you're having issues with GoToMeeting, that may be one of the reasons. So just be very aware of that. Licensing, you could be paying for licenses that you are not utilizing with this as well. So be careful, again, looking at your packages. Theirs is a little different than the way Zoom works, not quite as flexible, but just, again, be aware, do your homework. And now Cisco, one of the oldest, I've been using it almost 20 years probably. It is a fantastic product. The thing about Cisco is it is Cisco. And Cisco tends to overcomplicate things because they are much more made for the larger organizations. It's a great product. We use it within our office because our owner utilizes it for a training product a lot, and working with larger organizations. So it works very well for him. And we utilize it and we have no issue with it. But again, it may not be made for the smaller company. They just came out with a 40 limit free version that was not available 2 days ago. Their price range is a little higher, $13.50 to $26.95. Again, best used for large companies. But it can be for the common smaller business owner, it can be an overwhelming product. It works best if you're working within Cisco, a Cisco environment. So if your network's it's not quite as good as it would be that way.
Right. Yeah, and just to interject real quickly, is just kind of Dave already said it, but definitely keep looking at these different video conferencing applications because they are kind of updating their packages on a daily basis. So you might be able to get, better deals as this progresses. So
right.
Just want to mention that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So file sharing, what about, we can't be in our office. We have to work from home and we don't have a server. We don't have a network. What do we do? So we have different file sharing options. The two main ones that we work with and we know are really that we can talk about, Dropbox and Box. Dropbox is cloud storage. It's file synchronization. You have your own personal cloud, and it's a client software. They have packages ranging from $15 to $25 per user, starting at 3 users. The thing about them is it's a great place to store your information, but it is not permission-based like a server. There's no collaboration. You either have access or you don't have access. And in it, it has a great file system where, you have this folder and you have folders under it, things like that, but you can't do permissions within those folders. So I can't say, Joe at our office can get into this file, but no one else can, or things like that. So as it is a really great and inexpensive way, if you need those options, it's not a viable option, but if that's not an issue, it's a fantastic product. Box is that kind of on steroids. It is file sharing, it is collaboration, there is workflow, there is all different kinds of things that it works within, and it does permissions, all that kind of stuff. A little more expensive, not too much. And again, this has changed because a lot of these file sharing used to be on how much data you had. Now it's a per user, and each package that you have dictates how much storage you get. So again, like we talked about GoToMeeting, be careful what you're doing. If you only have, 3 users, but you need this much storage, you may be paying for users that aren't utilizing because you just don't have them, but you need that storage. So please do your due diligence in that. Box, another thing about Box, and we found that out with one of our clients. We had a new prospect or a new client coming on, and we were onboarding with them. One of the issues they had was the onboarding was going to be past the first of the month, and their Box subscription was at the end of that month. They had an annual subscription, so it is per user per month, but they will try to lock you into an annual. If you're on that annual and it goes over, they lock you out. They don't give you the chance to do a month-to-month, things like that. So if you're looking to move, make sure you're prepared, or you're looking to use them. Make sure you look at the terms and the services within that, because we wouldn't want that to happen to you.
Right.
So, okay, so we have a question for you guys as well. Do you have IT support? And again, this is not about us, but do you at this time, all of a sudden you're in there, do you have somebody to talk to? So A, I have a managed service provider. B, I have an internal team. C, I know someone who is tech savvy. Or D, do we really need some help? So if you can answer that in your chat, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can't see it, but
I can see it. Tim Carey, I know Dave. B, okay, you have an internal team. Okay, and we asked this not to promote ourselves as much, but I mean, we are here and we are available to help. But all of a sudden, we went from, Bill in the office, he knows how to do something, or my cousin Larry, he knows how to do stuff. I always bring him in to do stuff, but all of a sudden you can't do that. So there's a lot of options out there. Managed service providers, I know ourselves, we have clients as small as 3-person companies with and without networks. So don't be afraid to reach out, because some of this gets very technical and very hard. And know that these IT support systems are out there for you. And that's why they're considered an essential versus a non-essential company.
right.
And with that, I want to thank you all so very much. Are there any questions? I saw there was a question. I didn't see what that was. Leadership Maryland, many thanks to marketing. Oh, okay. That was something else. So, okay, Laura, I work from home all the time, so I have systems already, and I'm only me, an assistant. I have as needed help. Okay, good. Any other questions on any of this information or things that we may or may not have talked about that we might know, but we want to make sure all your questions are answered, and hopefully this was very helpful to you.
Great. I'm going to stop my share, and we're going to.
Okay, and then we're going to turn this over to Mr. Tim Carey with Chesapeake Telephone Systems.
Gotta unmute yourself, Tim.
Got to unmute yourself.
I know.
There he is.
So it's 4 o'clock. We're done, right? No? We're going to keep going, huh?
Yeah, you're going to bring us home with all the good
Bring us home,
info.
bud.
Let me see
How
if
does
I
it
can
all
do
work?
this. Does that work?
There you are.
Does anybody see that slide? So greetings, everyone. Hey, listen, my name is Tim Carey. I'm with Chesapeake Telephone Systems. Been in telecom a million years. I'm not going to say when I started, but MTV was just getting real popular when I started in AT&T. So I've been around a little while. So everybody, the business model and landscape is going to change. For the past couple of years, we at CTS, we've been migrating companies into this world for the past couple of years now, and the cloud has really taken a strong grip on what's going on. We used to do this with premise-based equipment. It was very expensive. Now you can go to the cloud, and everything we just talked about, not trying to steal anybody's thunder, but we have a platform. We represent Mitel, by the way, from Chesapeake Telephone Systems. And Mitel's got a platform that includes all of that. So basically, if you have a phone on your desk, you can take advantage of all of these really cool things that we just talked about that's inside this platform. Now, what's really important is to understand is the past couple of years, we've been migrating businesses onto this platform, and these businesses, when this hit, they're business as usual because they've been doing this. Melissa's been doing this. I know Dave and Logan have been working with customers over the past few years, trying to find the best solution for them also. So after this is over, we're going to see a change in business. And, what Melissa was talking about with, I think it's Sococo. Yeah. That's kind of cool because, business owners are going to want to need to see what's going on in their businesses. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do. And I'm going to talk about this platform. I'm not going to go real long, just going to do a real high level presentation. And if you want to reach out, this presentation is going to be sent out to everybody. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm not hard to find. Chesapeake Telephone Systems has been around for a while, 35 years. What this platform is going to allow you to do, if you want to, anywhere from 5 phones up to infinity, whatever your business is, if you have a phone on your desk, if you have an extension, you'll be able to use a soft phone, which means you'll be able to have that soft phone running your desktop client. If you want to use your iPad or whatever, it'll be, or PC, or sit in some, if you're a salesperson and you stop in Starbucks when they open back up, you'll be able to go ahead and just sit down and do your work. And, if you're in real estate or whatever, you'll be able to, act like you're right in the office. We also have IP phones. We can put them on in your home office also. And we also have a contact center solution, which is pretty cool also. But normally with what we're offering, really a lot of customers really don't need to have that contact center yet. So this is the client. Basically, you can use your phone right from your laptop, iPad, whatever you want to do. What's nice about it is it integrates with Outlook, and integrates with any CRM out there. You'll be able to do anything at plus with this application: audio and video conferencing, screen sharing, click to join, exchange integration, participant management. Everything you're ever going to want to do as a business, you can do right from your client. The mobile app, even your mobile phone, whether it's Android or iOS, it's just like your extension at your desk. What's nice about it is we work with a lot of the verticals. One of the main verticals we work in is medical, especially in Annapolis. And so there's a lot of doctors out there that when they make an outgoing call, they don't want their personal mobile number going out. So basically from this app, the corporate GID goes out when the customer receives the call, which is very important. We have a lot of schools, churches, just many people that want to make calls, and they want to call somebody, but they don't want their mobile number going out. So, we find this is very important for a lot of our clients right now. And you can do it Wi-Fi or whatever, 4G or whatever you want to use it for. Teamwork. Everybody was talking about, our presenters were talking about teamwork. And there's a lot of applications out there. Mitel put a teamwork application within their application. So you can do file sharing. You can work. It's a project management tool, essentially. But what's nice about this teamwork is you can also share it with your customers. If you're an engineer or you're an architect, and if you have some plans you want to send with a potential client, you can create a project and invite them into the project. So it's really cool. I have an insurance company that uses text with their customers, trying to send them different quotes and things like that. So we find that their sales team uses text. So they send text, and the text outgoing basically is coming from their PBX or their cloud PBX. So there's a lot of interesting things you can do with this. Like I said, I'm really giving you a high level application presentation here because of time. So the collaboration is really important, we find. Melissa did a really good job in talking about that, because business owners, they want to, what's also important is they want to make sure that people, their employees are working. So inside this overall application, the MyCloud Connect app and platform, is you'll have what's called presence and availability. So you're always going to know what your team's doing as an owner. And also there's a portal you'll be able to go into, and you can set up different reports on a daily basis to show you how many calls or what this person's doing, or what this person did today. So it's, it allows a business owner to really, maybe not micromanage, but just have a general concept of what's going on in their business. Also, hey, if you need a phone on your desk, Mitel, right now, Mitel has some really cool incentives for people and businesses that are moving to the cloud, because most of our business is moving to the cloud, let's face it, for telecommunications. Although there we do have a lot of premise, but 90% of our business is cloud. And if you want a phone, there are some incentives where Mitel is giving free phones. So, if you are a business owner or thinking about starting a business or switching out, give me a call. Let me know what's going on. Like I said, this is just what we find in the when I go out and talk to a customer. What I find is it's not really what's out on the market. It's a lack of awareness with business owners, because of the fact that business owners are trying to run their business. And another thing is there's so much technology out there. There's so many things out there. When I sit down with somebody, I really try to break it down and make it easy, bring it down to layman's terms. You get a phone on the desk, you can use your mobile phone, you can use your desktop client, and it's all going to be your extension. So we find that our customers like these applications, they like the phones, and security is a big issue also. So when you're moving to the cloud, Mitel is a complete end-to-end solution, which means that you have a phone, it goes all the way out to the Google Cloud, which also makes the Mitel platform HIPAA compliant, SOC 2. So when you have this application, there's a lot of voice over IP companies and cloud companies out there, but what phones are you using? You're either using a Yealink phone or some Polycom, which there isn't such thing as a Polycom or Yealink phone system. Basically, they're just endpoints. So Mitel basically takes it from end to end, uses 256 encryption from end to end. So that is very important. Also, you don't have to plug these phones into a jack. We can send you a Wi-Fi, a WLAN adapter that works great. I use it every day at my house. So it just uses your Wi-Fi at home to make calls. So I told you I was going to keep this brief. And this, if you want to move to the a call center solution with many healthcare companies use this at home. Their call center agents are sitting at home right now, and they do it year round, working from home. So very, very cool application. My main thing is I want everybody to understand. Whoops. Stop screen sharing, Tim. Okay, how do I stop? But anyway, my main thing is I want everybody to understand that there's going to be a shift in business today. There it is. There's going to be a shift in business today moving forward when we get out of this craziness. And a lot of businesses are already ahead of the curve. Some people are right in the middle. Melissa and her team are ahead of the curve. Dave and Logan, they're helping people get ahead of the curve. Their company is pushing. So you're going to see a big change moving forward in business because of this. We're being forced into this, as everybody has already alluded to. And we just need to understand that there are some options out there, and it's not that complicated. So give us a call if you need our help during this time. I've been talking to all kinds of people, even back where I grew, spent some time in New Mexico. My friends have been calling me, how do I do this? How do I do that? So with that, I thought this was a great presentation today, guys. You want to open it up, Amy?
Yeah, I didn't see any questions come through. Does anybody that's on their phone have any questions?
No.
Was that crickets?
I unmuted for a second to see if anybody was going to say anything.
Uh,
All right.
How about anything else? Anybody on the call? Questions or comments? How's it going out there for y'all working, moving things along in this COVID-19 era?
Well, I can say that I'm totally unessential as a photographer right now, completely and utterly unessential.
oh,
So, but what I have done is leverage my LinkedIn Premium with my personal network and try and build relationships that I can follow through with after this is over. So I'll get a referral to somebody, ask them for a conversation, and not even try and sell them anything, just try to meet them, and there's somebody that would be a good teammate for me down the road. So that's kind of my plan because I have nothing else.
Good, plant the seed and it'll grow.
Yep.
Anybody else doing anything unusual or different that you are trying to, keep maybe prospecting or keep in touch with anybody? So, all right. Well, like I said, I appreciate everyone taking the time to come today. We will have a landing page at the chamber for where you can retrieve this information. We'll also be sending out an email with the PowerPoint so you can dive in. I think Tim was hitting it on the head here as we move forward. It has changed, and we are going to do business differently. And this type of activity is going to become more part of our daily business routines. So stay tuned, stay healthy, and we will move through this together. And I think kind of events like this will help us keep our sanity. I think, Laura, that's a good idea, interesting way to use LinkedIn to kind of integrate it with your personal contacts and reach out. I know I myself have been reaching out to friends and folks from around the country, doing a little bit more text. We had a family Zoom meeting the other night with people from all over the country, which was we encouraged everyone to bring their dog. So that made it interesting to check in on everybody's dog. But those are the kind of things we have to think about. And the other thing, in the next 2 weeks, I think you're going to see some activity where our friends in the government are going to come out with a task force to look at some things. And we may be reaching out to you all because we may be part of it. What do we do for the recovery? How do we get back on track? Because it's not all going to flip a switch and we're back to normal. It's going to be a slow ramp up, and there's going to be some trepidation on the part of folks to go out and about, not just to restaurants and all, but are we going to go to a ball game again and sit next to, elbow to elbow? I love baseball, and I'm thinking like, wow, what's going to happen? Am I going to go?
I'm missing baseball.
Yeah. And so how's it going to be? It will be back, but it will be different. We need to stay on top of it. And hopefully with a forum like this that we're going to do every Tuesday at 3, so get it on your calendar, we can talk about some of those things, and together we will move forward.
Great.
So, all right. Anybody have anything else for the good of the order before we sign off?
Drinks.
Tim's buying.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you very much.